Hey there, little detectives. Welcome to today's exciting mystery on Whiskersville Adventures. It's a beautiful day in the village, and something mysterious is afoot. Of Mr. Crumble's famous cupcakes has gone missing. That's right, someone sneaked away with a whole cupcake. And it's up to us to solve the mystery. Grab your detective hats and magnifying glasses, because we're about to embark on a fun, suspense-filled adventure to find out who the sneaky cupcake thief is. Ready? Let's go. The sun was shining in Whiskersville, and the air smelled delicious. Mr. Crumble, the kindest baker you'd ever meet, had just finished his newest batch of chocolate sprinkle cupcakes. Oh, these cupcakes were the best in the whole village. They were soft and warm, covered in sprinkles, and filled with creamy frosting on top. But here's the problem. When Mr. Crumble turned his back for just a moment, something mysterious happened. One of the cupcakes disappeared. That's right, vanished into thin air. Now, who would take the last perfect cupcake from the tray? Was it a cupcake bandit or something more suspicious? Mr. Crumble scratched his head, totally confused. But don't worry, he wasn't going to let this mystery go unsolved. Not on his watch. Enter the real detective of Whiskersville, Whiskers the cat. Whiskers isn't just any cat, she's smart, she's fast, and she's got a nose for trouble. She wears a tiny detective hat and carries a magnifying glass that's way too big for her little paws. But that's okay, because she's got the brains to match it. Whiskers immediately got to work, examining the counter where the cupcakes were. What did she find? A trail of tiny chocolate sprinkles. Whiskers thought, sniffing the air. This isn't just any ordinary trail. This is a clue. She followed the sprinkle trail out the door, her paws making soft tapping sounds as she trotted through the bakery. But wait, the trail didn't stop at the door. It led all the way to the garden. This was no ordinary cupcake thief. This was someone who wanted to hide the evidence. Whiskers followed the trail carefully, her eyes narrowed in determination. The sprinkles led her right to the garden, where a peaceful picnic was taking place. The sun shone through the trees, and the sound of birds chirping filled the air. But something wasn't quite right. Whiskers crouched low and peeked through the bushes. What did she see? A familiar fluffy little face. It was Mr. Fluffykins, Mr. Crumble's pet hamster. And there he was, sitting on a picnic blanket, with a half-eaten cupcake in his paws. Oh no! He had been the thief all along. And there he was, nibbling away at the frosting, looking so guilty. Whiskers couldn't believe it. Mr. Fluffykins, the hamster who everyone thought was so innocent, was the cupcake thief. But of course, she wasn't just going to accuse him without some questions. It was time for the big reveal. Aha! Caught you, Mr. Fluffykins, Whiskers said, stepping out from behind the bushes. The hamster froze in shock, his eyes wide as he looked up at the detective. He tried to hide the cupcake behind his tiny paws, but it was too late. Whiskers, I can explain, Mr. Fluffykins stammered, crumbs of frosting falling from his mouth. Explain? Explain? Whiskers said with a smirk. You're the one who took the last cupcake, and you didn't even ask. What's your excuse, Mr. Fluffykins? Mr. Fluffykins hesitated, his whiskers twitching nervously. Well, I was just making sure the cupcakes were fresh, for the picnic, he said, trying to sound innocent. But it was clear as day that Mr. Fluffykins had been caught red-handed. Whiskers narrowed her eyes. Fresh? You've been nibbling at that cupcake for over an hour, Fluffykins. You didn't just want to test it. You wanted it all for yourself. The other villagers, who had been watching from afar, started walking over to see what was going on. They couldn't believe their eyes when they saw Mr. Fluffykins with the stolen cupcake. Mrs. Daffodil, the village florist, was the first to break the silence. She giggled and clapped her hands. Mr. Fluffykins, you little rascal, we should have known it was you. I should have known, said Mr. Crumble, wiping frosting from his hands. Mr. Fluffykins has been eyeing those cupcakes all day. But as the laughter continued, Mr. Fluffykins looked embarrassed. He shuffled his paws and tried to apologize. I'm really sorry, everyone. I got so excited about the cupcakes that I couldn't stop myself. I'll help clean up and get everything back to normal. The villagers were kind-hearted, though, and they weren't mad. In fact, they thought it was quite funny. Mr. Crumble smiled warmly at the hamster. Well, Mr. Fluffykins, I suppose you can keep the cupcake since you've already taken a big bite out of it. But next time, I'll make sure there's enough for everyone. The village broke out into laughter, and all the children gathered around, clapping their hands in joy. They started a game where they each had to make up their own silly excuses for why they might have taken the cupcake. One child said, I took it because I thought it was a magic cupcake that would make me fly. Another said, I thought it might be a secret cupcake for a cupcake kingdom. Everyone took turns making up silly, fun excuses, and soon the whole village was in stitches, laughing together. As the day came to a close, Whiskers sat back with a satisfied grin. She may have solved the case of the missing cupcake, but she knew that sometimes it wasn't about who took the cupcake. It was about how the village came together, laughed, and shared a moment of joy. Well, Whiskers said. Another mystery solved, and I think we've all learned a valuable lesson. Always ask before you take a cupcake, or any other treat for that matter. Thanks for joining us today, little detectives. I hope you had as much fun solving the mystery as we did. If you enjoyed this adventure, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another fun mystery with Whiskersville Adventures. Until next time, keep your eyes peeled. There's always a new mystery just around the corner.